Hello, I'm Tony, and this is a review of Horace, a platformer free from Amazon Games until the end of October 2022. Let's talk about it. You play Horace, a very dapper robot assigned to a family and tasked with cleaning 1 million pieces of trash. The introduction to the family is a very clever tutorial implementation. The character is being introduced to its abilities at the same time and in the same way as you are. It's really well done. It made me smile and taught me at the same time. So very edutaining. You are taught basic platforming movement, but the majority of the first half an hour is spent being immersed into the story, and I did get immersed. Before we talk about the story and the gameplay, we need to talk about the choice the developers made with the graphics. The graphics are deliberately old school and blocky, which is particularly noticeable in the cutscenes. Although the gameplay section felt like they were a bit high res, except for the Atari Pong section that you have to play. That's not the original graphics, but it's pretty old school. The style has its own charms, I'm sure, but I do think it detracted a little bit from the cutscenes, since it was hard to read expressions properly. I know you wouldn't expect that to be important in a platforming game, but it really was. The speech is solely done by Horace, in a slightly robot, quite passionless voice.
The old man's hat fit me pretty good as well. I'm sure he wouldn't mind if I wore it.
Which works really well for the character, but you don't really get to hear much in the way of acting, which is a shame. A lot of effort is put into the soundtrack. I'm sure I recognised loads of different game soundtracks within it, and some other tunes that seemed familiar but I couldn't quite place. Okay, back to the story and the gameplay. Like I said, first half hour, mostly story, and it's a really effective one. It gave me actual feels, which is pretty impressive. There are a ton of references to old games, which made me chuckle, which I guess reflects the developers' love of the era and also probably dictated their choice of graphical style. There was also a Thames TV reference in the opening credits, which was very unexpected and probably quite niche in who would understand it, but hey, I appreciated it. In fact, there's a lot of humour throughout the story. It's not just references. Horace's naivety in general gave a fair few laughs too. On to the platforming gameplay. You need to clean up trash by standing in front of it. Larger objects, like cars, take a little while to clean, which makes sense, but gives you a lot more cleaned items than just one. It's all standard controls until you get one upgrade a little way into the game, which is a pair of gravity-defying boots, which means you can walk around on any surface. Confusingly for me at least, the whole screen rotates to the new orientation, which can get a bit dizzying and disorienting. It's not that easy to control. I'm trying to jump on a platform to go upside down. Doesn't always work. I'm just trying to jump off, I go upside down. If you get it wrong, there is an unusual and funny penalty. Now I'm sure I'll get used to it. I've played for about 2.5 hours. I'm sure it'll become second nature eventually. Dotted throughout the game, there are story elements that you'll just discover that push the story forward and push the game forward. You do need to complete them to be able to progress, but once I hit about the 2-hour mark, I've kind of finished that bit of the story and I'm a little bit lost as to where to go next. I'm sure this is just a me problem, but I think it just shows how powerful the story is. It's a testament to that. I'm really enjoying my time in this game. Any platforming fans out there should absolutely play it. Anyone that isn't or struggles with games like this, I should warn that the platforming sections are challenging. There are time restricted ones that don't leave that much room for mistakes, and honestly none of the sections past the tutorial are what I'd call easy. However, with that proviso given, I definitely recommend Horace. Go give this one a try. It's a really well written, inventive story and a ton of fun. Time for me to sign off now, so thanks for watching and I'll talk to you soon. Goodbye.